Overtourism is gradually becoming one of today's most pressing issues. Remember what happened during COVID? Even though the pandemic had devastating impacts on humans, nature thrived. It went all Last of Us. Well, maybe not like this, but like this. And this.
Now, we're not saying traveling is bad. If anything, it helps us appreciate the beautiful planet we live on. It raises our awareness, and it inspires us to do more to help it. And now that unrestricted travel has resumed, we must find ways to care for the very places we yearn to see when we travel, to reduce our impact on the planet.
We recently visited Hawaii, which we learned is currently struggling with overtourism. When planning our trip, we made a commitment to travel as sustainably as possible, which is a learning experience. I mean, we're not seasoned travelers by any means, but we were willing to discover ways of how to reduce our impact.
To start, we decided to travel during shoulder season, or the off-peak season. This is not only great for reducing our footprint on overburdened landscapes, but it's also great for your wallet.
We recommend watching The Last Tourist for more insight on this topic. But for now, enjoy our little video that we put together, where we show you many other ways you can travel sustainably based on what we learned. Here's Hawaii.
Hawaii is known for its lush, verdant landscapes, beaches, wildlife, and adventure. Sometimes it feels like you're in a different country altogether, and luckily it's not very far from where we live. But we can't drive, and a boat would take days to get there, so our only realistic choice is to fly. Luckily, at around 2.5%, commercial flying doesn't come close to the greenhouse gases emitted by animal agriculture, which amounts to over 16%. But make sure to still choose airlines that commit to sustainability.
Even though eating plant-based is a given for us, if you're not vegan, why not challenge yourself and try only eating plant-based when you travel? After all, you're already in the mindset of trying new things. Although it's not always possible, make sure to opt out of plastic when you can. A big shout out, by the way, to Island Vintage Coffee, who commits to serving locally grown produce to embrace and celebrate food sustainability on the islands. Reduce food waste by packing your leftovers in reusable containers. We found these online and they were so convenient and super portable.
Or just eat all the food. If you plan on working out, bring eco-friendly workout clothes made from sustainable fabrics, such as cotton, hemp or linen, recycled materials, or purchase used at a thrift store. It's better for the planet, especially if you happen to leave a piece behind at the beach or it blows off your balcony into the ocean. Visit popular landmarks during off-peak hours to avoid overtaxing the landscape. A lot of the time, you'll watch these videos on YouTube and they're like, you must go for the sunrise, but then everyone goes for the sunrise. For example, we knew that a lot of people choose to hike Diamond Head to watch the sunrise. We decided to start our hike during the sunrise. It was still beautiful, and we found that the crowd up at the top was hiking down on our way up. So we got the top nearly all to ourselves.
That said, explore with care. Bring a reusable water bottle. Sometimes your hotel or other vendors will have these filtered water machines you can use to refill. Opt for an umbrella or raincoat instead of a single-use plastic poncho. And if you're hiking, stay on the trail to avoid eroding and damaging the environment. You'll find that places like Hawaii are very diverse when it comes to wildlife, and particularly birds. They're everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
And they're loved and locally revered. Please be respectful and educate your children about why it's important not to startle or chase them. On the topic of respect, learn about the history and culture of where you're going. It helps garner a deeper appreciation and awareness for where you are.
Back to food. A popular touristy treat is Dole Whip, which happens to be vegan, and it's yum. This container was compostable, by the way. And if you're hankering for a nice dinner out, do not miss going to Tane Vegan Izakaya. We got the kailua roll, the roasted garlic miso ramen, and the wedge.
Which was our absolute favorite. The night we went there, they had this blueberry chocolate cake for dessert that was insane.
But if you're on a budget, there's nothing wrong with making your own meals. We intentionally looked for accommodations that had a mini fridge and microwave available. Even if your room doesn't have a microwave, there might be one available for use in the lobby or diner. Again, reusable Tupperware really came in handy.
Something really cool we learned was that some hotels will sub out your feather down pillows and comforters for feather-free bedding. We find it contradictory to hope for a good night's sleep when your head rests on an animal's worst nightmares. When you're traveling, you might want to partake in some sightseeing and organized activities. Make sure the companies you choose are committed to safe practices and sustainability. If you go on your own, learn about local regulations. In Hawaii, all sea turtles, or hanu, are protected by law. Do not touch them and keep your distance. Unlike this person. Use your camera's zoom feature instead. We tried both an organized snorkel tour as well as snorkeling on our own, and we found that although snorkeling with a group was informational and a good introduction to the activity as a whole, many different groups tend to congregate in the same area, which means leaving a larger footprint on our environment. But when snorkeling independently, since you're more likely to be in shallower waters closer to reefs and rock formations, take special care to be aware of your surroundings, particularly if there are strong currents that day. Sea turtles tend to frequent these areas to feed on algae growing on the rocks, and you don't want to bump into them. Something that really helps is wearing a flotation device to keep you committed to surface swimming. And it also makes for a safer experience overall.
If you do opt for an organized tour, make sure you support the ones that offer plant-based options. After all, what use is protecting our oceans if fish or shrimp are on the menu? And bring your reusable bamboo ware just in case. Brian and I had to take our meal to go because we were too woozy to eat on the boat, and so was everyone else. The ocean was pretty choppy that day. On that note, if you're going to be spending time at the beach and in the water, make sure to only wear reef-safe sunscreen. One surefire way to make sure you do is to purchase your sunscreen once you get to Hawaii. Because Hawaii passed HB 102 in 2021, it upholds the 2018 ban on the sale of sunscreen containing oxybenzone and octinoxate, and also adds avobenzone and octocrylene to the list. These chemicals are very damaging to the coral ecosystem. We actually prefer mineral-based sunscreens, as they tend to last longer on your body. When it comes to getting around, we found that the public transportation system in Oahu was convenient and affordable. It's definitely a greener option. And don't forget, there's always walking. We walked a lot.
Okay, our next food shout-out goes to Beatbox Cafe. Beatbox Cafe was our most memorable breakfast on the islands. They have an extensive menu from which to choose. We opted for the Mick Jagger muffin, Beatbox burrito with just egg, and the banana oat pancakes.
I told you.
By no means was any of this health food, but it was good.
While you're out and about, you might find something you like. How great would it be if that something came from a local artisan or vendor? Purchasing local helps keep money on the island. Traveling and exploring the world is a wonderful way to get out of your bubble. It helps make you a more tolerant person. Traveling teaches you skills like how to adapt to different routines, embrace the unexpected, and problem solve. And it makes it easy to appreciate the beauty that is nature. But it's often also easy to overlook the little hidden problems.
If you see something not right, do something about it. This one stretch of beach was completely littered with microplastics. If you refuse to do anything because you think you're never going to make a difference, then you're right, you won't. But what if you did?
Our next food shout-out goes to the Sunrise Shack. With a variety of beverages and healthful snacks, their acai bowls are one of their more colorful and yummy options. Remember to always make sure that the containers vendors offer are compostable. Next, we have Earth Aloha Eats in Lahaina on the island of Maui. They offer a delicious menu of organic, plant-based, and gluten-free comfort food options. And their portions are generous. We had the fish and chips, pulled pork fries, and the falafel wrap.
That's probably the best fish fillet I've ever had.
While in Maui, we had decided to stay at an Airbnb for a night. But the highlight of our trip was the camping for sure. In fact, moving forward, if we ever return to Hawaii, or if we go anywhere else where glamping or camping is available, we will do it. Camping not only gets you out of your comfort zone, it is some of the closest you'll ever get to nature.
What? Careful, girl.
Oh my God.
And while you're there, make sure to be aware of your surroundings. You certainly don't want to feed the wildlife.
For example, people think chickens can just eat bread, but no. Chickens have a very specific diet, and it's certainly not what they're fed in the industry. Our final food shout-out goes to Prison Street Pizza in Lahaina on the island of Maui. Prison Street Pizza is not a vegan business, but nonetheless, it is necessary to create the demand for vegan options everywhere we go. All they had to do was leave off the cheese, and we had a pizza that was out of this world.
And of course, we couldn't go to Hawaii and not visit a farmed animal sanctuary.
Oh, it's so cold.
Cockfighting locations illegal, but only a misdemeanor. Very good.
We really enjoyed this little island paradise. It's nice to know that wherever you go, there's always someone out there trying to make a difference for the animals. You can tell that the animals here are just enjoying every bit of life. So that's it for now. We hope you enjoyed coming with us to Hawaii and learning about sustainability and reciprocity.